Welcome to Sweethearts or Rivals. I'm Charla.
I'm Justin.
Today we're going to be doing a list video.
Yep.
And it's going to be a video of our top games that if we had to call our board game collection to only 50 games, what would make the list?
Yep.
And today is going to be which numbers?
45 to 41.
Right.
So this is our second video.
And I found the requirements for me to put a game on the list was if I might cry that I'd never got to play this game again ever in my life.
It should be on the list.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right on. So, number 45. Shall I go first this time?
You can go first this time.
All right. My number 45 is Uwe Rosenberg's Glass Road.
Ooh, Glass Road.
This is a very unique game because you start off playing it, and at the very end of the game, there's like 2 ways to score points, and that is it, and you're not going to get very many points for them. So not only do you have to build up an engine to like score stuff, but you actually have to build into the game how you're going to score stuff.
Right.
Which is really unique, really tricky to do, and awesome.
Yeah.
Plus, on top of that, the very unique resource management system. Whereas if you get a certain number of a bunch of basic resources, suddenly they all automatically get reduced and you get one of the awesome resources.
Right.
And that can actually sometimes be a bad thing. I love that.
It's interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your number 45?
Well, my number 45 is Shiteno.
Shiteno!
Yeah.
Wow, I did not expect this to be on your list.
Really? I knew it was going to surprise you when I picked it.
Yep.
But it's one of those games where you have these cards and you have to choose and to split them.
Yeah.
And then it's your opponent's decision on they get to pick first group.
You split, they choose.
Right. And you're trying to cut it so that you might get the cards that you want, and you're trying to make the cards that you think they'll take appealing to them so they'll take them.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of set collection.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoy, set collection games anyway. But I think this is one of the only games that we have that I split you choose mechanic in it.
Yeah, it's not a mechanism that we have found in a lot of games that we really
like.
Enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it does it well.
Yes.
Yep.
And I do enjoy playing it. It's just we don't get to play it enough, I think.
Yeah.
But
that's interesting.
I'll definitely keep that in my 50 games.
Cool.
Yeah.
Shiteno.
What's your next one?
Our next one, number 44. Mine is Mangrovia.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it was interesting because we saw it and thought, ooh, that looks interesting. And then finally it showed up on a Board Game Bliss, and we're like, woohoo! And then immediately, as soon as it was available, it sold out. And then later on, when it became available again, I waffled on it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, yes, it's finally available. Do I really want to get it? Like, it was just weird how I kind of sat on the fence.
There were hardly any videos on it, and that was the hard thing to make our decision. But the video we watched, we were like, oh, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
But then we read comments and something was overpowered or something. And we're like, oh, I don't know then.
Yeah.
Let's wait and we'll watch another video. And just no videos came out.
So we finally got it, and I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
We played it 2-player. It's this awesome, unique action selection / area control, which again, 2-player area control games. If you can find one that works, that is amazing.
Yeah.
And then we've played it with more than 2 people, and it works just as well. Yeah. Amazing little game.
Yeah, it's nice. It has good components too.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was my 44, Mangrovia. What's your 44?
My number 44 is Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time. Knew this was going to be on the list somewhere.
I like this game a lot.
Yeah.
But you can't play it 2 players really at all.
Yeah.
And we don't get to play it enough. But if I didn't ever get to play it again, I would be sad because it's one of my favorite games.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of creativity.
It does. So people always say that they have to be in the right mood to play it.
Yeah.
But I'm creative all the time. And I think maybe I'm always creating stories in my head all the time. So that part of me never shuts off.
We do tend to do that in our board games.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I really like it because you are given those cards and those are what you're trying to get your story around. And that one end goal card, like it's almost a tug of war between the players. Like, I'm pushing the story in my direction, and then all of a sudden, nope, it's going in this direction. You're like, oh, how am I going to get it back over in my direction again? I just really like that creativeness about it.
Yeah, it's good. Which brings us to our number 43. My number 43 is Alien Frontiers.
I knew this would be on the list. Yeah,
this is a great game. I love rolling dice, but I need ways of manipulating those dice to make them do what I want them to do. And it's interesting because you can do that in Alien Frontiers, or you can just see what your options are, and like every option is going to give you something. So I'm never upset that I can't do exactly what I wanted to do,
right?
Which I really love. It's awesome. There's also a really unique kind of race aspect to it because you're racing up the points, and something you do to get yourself points can potentially cause other people to lose points. So it's not so much of if I do this one thing I'm going to get a point, it's I'm going to get a point and they're going to lose 2 points, or I'm going to do this and I'm not going to gain anything but everyone else is going to lose some points, like stuff like that. Great way to manipulate it. And the only downside to Alien Frontiers is it's long. I find it long.
Yeah, it was long.
Yeah,
especially the more players you add.
Yeah,
it does add a considerable amount of time.
Yep. And you definitely need it with the factions expansion. That adds a whole other level of asymmetrical starting, special abilities, which makes it so much more awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. What is your number 43?
My number 43 is Steam Park.
Steam Park. Nice.
Robots on roller coasters. That's all I have to say.
Yep.
I like it because it's got the 3D element of gaming, and you're building up your little amusement park, and then you're randomly drawing people to go out on the rides and stuff.
Yep.
I find it really fun, and it doesn't hurt that it's awfully cute.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Right on. So our 42?
42.
My 42 is Steam Park.
Really?
Yep.
That's funny. I knew we'd have crossover, but I didn't think that we would cross over on the same number.
Yeah, close. 42 and 43.
Yeah.
So Steam Park, the reason I like it is because it's unlike any other game we like. We're not fans of, at least I'm definitely not a fan of that real time. But the real time aspect of Steam Park is just a short part of it.
Right.
And it's just the perfect amount.
Yeah, I was just going to say, there's just enough there to make it interesting without being annoying.
Yeah. And then, the 3D aspect, just there's nothing really like it that we have in our collection at all. It's so unique. Yeah. Great little game. And it is cute.
And robots on roller coasters.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What's your 42?
My 42 is Manila.
Manila.
Of course, Manila would make the list.
Yeah.
Because it's a gambling game.
I'm only surprised it's not higher on your list.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of our Grail games at one point.
Yes.
Yep.
But it's not a great 2-player game.
This is true.
So it does kind of push it down the list. That's probably the only reason.
Yeah.
But I love the gambling of it.
Yeah, it is. That's like the core of the game. Is
gambling on which ship is going to make it into dock, or which ships are not going to make it into dock.
Yeah.
And then trying to manipulate the ships that make it, because those are the goods. Each ship has a different good on it. And you're trying to raise the value of the goods you have in your hand, so that you win in the end.
Yeah.
So it
is, anytime we've gotten a chance to play it with a bunch of players, it has gone over well. People have really loved it, and it has been lots of fun.
Yeah. And it's gambling on randomness. Yeah. That's a sweet spot for me.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like risk assessment. What is the risk? How much money am I giving up for this? And is it going to work out? See,
I tend to play all more willy-nilly. It's like, I'll bet it all if I can win big. No risk assessment for me.
There you go. Just spend the money.
Spend it all. Yeah.
It's probably good I do our finances.
Yeah.
Okay. So that brings us to 41?
I think so.
All right, and the last one for this video. My number 41 is Manila.
It's close again.
Yep.
That's weird.
And for pretty much all the reasons we just said, it does require more than 2 players to play it and have for it to work properly. And it's got a whole bunch of mechanisms that I usually cannot stand. And just they work together so well. Yeah. And when you lose and everything just kind of falls apart, you don't feel like the game is over, because it's equally plausible for things to work out and you to just come back. And then when
come back out of nowhere.
Yeah. And when you do make a killing on the journey, that round, it's just awesome. It's
There's a lot of woohooing going on.
Yeah.
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 It can get kind of loud around the table, which is fun. Yeah.
It's a great game.
Yep.
What is your 41?
My 41 is Glass Road.
Glass Road. Wow, yep. Nice.
This is one we haven't played it enough yet.
Yeah.
But for me, the reason it's on the list is that resource management wheels, how they work. I find that so super intriguing.
Yeah.
But I'm still at the point of the game where it's like at the beginning, I kind of don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get a few tiles on your board, it's like, okay, that's the direction I've got to go in.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're kind of on like that, okay, I've got to do this. And then my next turn, I've got to do this. And then I've got to do this. And then it kind of snowballs into, I have no idea what I'm doing, to like super mogul. I know exactly where I have to go.
Yeah.
And do, like, I find that really interesting.
And I could see how that might like be off-putting to some people starting a game and just like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing here.
Yeah, yeah.
You really have to go into the game knowing you're going to start the game, not really knowing where you're going to go.
Right.
And then the stuff comes out.
And it dictates.
Like, okay, if I get that tile, that's going to give me the goal of how to get my points.
Right.
And then you build towards that.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
And then those, like I said, those resource wheels. They're really, really, it's such a puzzle.
Yeah.
And it can be a little AP, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that is our 45 to 41 of our top 50 games.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back with our next video
Set
soon.
of 5.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks a lot.
We'll see you next time.
Later.